Oh, this is just a quick teardown of really old GPS unit. This is 90s vintage technology. Look how thick that is. Wow. That's really thick. Let's compare that in size with a screwdriver. It's about twice the height of a regular screwdriver in depth. It's apparently a 12-channel receiver. That's quite low apparently. It's been beat up a little bit, but it's really tough construction. Just no give it all in that. Just built really nice. It's got a external port for antenna, or I think that's the data port actually. But I think they're something like that. I don't know. Is that the antenna port right there, or is that looks like some sort of data port right there. Back in. And that's just on the front panel. It's got just really simple interface. It's a mode button, menu button, zoom in, zoom out. It's the power button. It's 4 buttons for panning around the map. And on the back, underneath the battery cover, it takes either one giant battery, rechargeable battery. It's a Duracell DR121 battery, so that uses those contact right there in the center pin for somehow. Or it can use 4 AA batteries, which is pretty gigantic. And there's the little springs. There's a little piece of rubber right there. So it looks like the screws are underneath the sticker. It looks like we're going to avoid the warranty, so that's always good. So I'll just get a pop the sticker. Oh, it's pretty thick. Maybe you can just peel it up, peel off the sticker. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, the security screws. Okay, those are just torque screws. Try to make it difficult for people to open up, even though everyone's got a whole box of torque screws laying around. What are these? Okay, looks like I found a match. This thing is missing the ball bearing. It fell out years ago, so it might fall off because that ball bearing is gone in it. Ooh, wow, that's really tight. Okay. Okay, and uses self-tapping screws into the plastic. So they definitely not made this for servicing, because after a while those are just gonna they're just not gonna go back in right anymore, because the plastic is just gonna get worn out. which I don't expect them to. This is just a consumer product that isn't, oh, okay, and here it is. Popped right open after those two screws. And so unlit it. Looks like the top panel just comes right off. And there you go. Looks like it's a nice big LCD screen on the top. The really huge flat flex cable going off to the circuit board. Nothing much on the top layer. There's this really interesting antenna technology up at the top. It looks like it's made out of steel. And there's also the keypad flat flex, which just goes, looks like it's siliconed in to the plastic. Look at that. There must be a keypad on the top. And then they just ran this through and then siliconed it on. That's pretty interesting. And this is a antenna has some markings on it. Get them. It's kind of difficult to get since it's just stamped in the metal. Maybe that's better. On this camera, I have to put on manual focusing because the focusing motor is so loud that the microphone picks it up internally. Which is kind of annoying. Okay, I'll just read this off. It's made by Aero Antenna Technology. Pin number AT575-114. There'll be a separate, I'll take that apart after I look at the circuit board. That should be very interesting too. I'll just disconnect the keyboard cable temporarily. And they've just plastic sealed this in to the circuit board, or to the case. Okay, just unplug this stuff off and get to the main board. There. Those are really tough to get out. Okay, looks like on the bottom we got a massive backup battery. Let's take that out. Just lost all the data on the GPS, looks like. You unplug that. Ooh, it's just stuck down with some double-sided tape, foam tape. And wow, look at the size of that battery. It's the biggest lithium cell battery I've seen. And it's the type is covered up with a bunch of tape, so I'll have to leave that for later to get it off. That's a giant battery. I'll just put up a little on-screen thing saying what type it is, but that's just absolutely massive. And on another end of the case, you've got a very nice wire wrapping going on. They've got these pin connections right there, and then they've just overlaid it with some epoxy to keep the connection straight, and so the wires, and to keep the wires so they don't break off. And that also creates a waterproof seal on that connection. So that's a nice little attention to detail right there. I really like that, how they did that there. Okay, well here's the main circuit board. Okay. So here's the antenna connection that we've seen before. It looks like there's a chip with a handwritten sticker on it that says 1997. So that's June 20th, 1997 is when that apparently the firmware revision on this microcontroller was flashed over. Or it could have been when the unit passed inspection. Okay, so this is the connection coming off the batteries. Yep. Some of it's going off the batteries and some of it's coming from the external connector. And this other connection came from the backup battery, the giant backup battery. Okay, so for the input stage, we've got just a single diode and a capacitor, just provided from reverse protection, and that's all. Not very much on the input stage, it looks like. Yeah, and there's no set of. I don't recognize those numbers on there. There's no voltage regulator in this device. This could be a new. Huh. Anyways, input power comes in there. Looks like we've got some actually switching regulator maybe right here, because there was two inductors in the capacitors. Maybe it's a switching regulator they use instead of a linear regulator, just to provide more power capability for the antenna, provide more efficiency. Alright, these main chips are, this one on the side is a Siemens, a Lowrance branded chip. You probably can't find a thing on this, but it's a 014-0217-00 chip. So I have no idea what that does, but looks like it could yeah, I don't know what that chip does, but it's a custom Lowrance branded chip, so that's pretty interesting, with a day code of 9715, so 1997 15th week. And this other chip, it looks like just some RAM or flash memory, most likely RAM. And this chip right here looks like it does the RF kind of deal, because of these interesting looking traces coming out of it into this. Looks like an RF filter. Yep, a resonance filter right there. Resonance cavity. It looks like we've got another filter right here with the RF. It's a branded Rockwell 95, made in Mexico. Looks like it's another, oh, that could be a cart number you can actually look up. R6732-13, another cryptographic part number. So maybe it couldn't be a custom part number, but I'm not sure. And let's look at this crystal. It's made by Racon. And it was made in the 4th week in 1997. And I just realized that my autofocus was on, so there's probably a whole bunch of chattering and noise in the past clips. So I apologize for that. It's just one of the flaws of this camera that I've got. You've always got to keep it in manual focus, or else chattering will chatter like nothing else. Okay, let's peel off the sticker on this device. Carefully. Oh, another Rockwell chip. It's actually 2 stickers on it. That looks like the main microcontroller for the device, or yeah. And yeah, it's just a whole bunch of code on the sticker. I don't see any readable values on that. They really stuck that on. Anyways, I picked up this new camera on eBay for quite a steal, since it was sold as is, and the only reason that it was broken is that the lens shutter in the front didn't open up, but the camera was still in perfect condition. So I just had to take off the front lens shutter and it started working again. So that's what I've been using now. It's my new HD camera. So it's really nice for editing, since I don't have to mess around with DV tapes anymore. Just pop right in the computer and you can edit the video pretty quick. Let's see if we got... okay. Nothing much under the sticker, but we know that's made in 1997, made in 18th week. So this must be like a main microcontroller or a microprocessor in this thing. It looks like not a lot of the pins are used on this top. Look at that. There isn't much. I don't see any I don't see a lot of pins being used on that device. So this might be like a keypad input deal, since it's located kind of close to the keypad input, which is right here. So I could mesh over into this chip, and then this main microcontroller or microprocessor is coupled in this RAM or flash memory, and then this is like the RF chip that handles all the RF GPS communication and signal processing. And I didn't see what the frequency of this crystal is. Looks like it's 10.9 megahertz, 10.99 megahertz maybe. It's pretty interesting. And yeah, looks like just a basic switch mode controller for the apparently switch mode power supply on the thing. Okay, now let's look underneath the LCD screen, see if there's anything interesting under that. If I can get it off. It's pretty stubborn. And I don't want to break it, because I mean it's a nice little vintage tech that could be handy. I don't know. It's super old, but Okay, there might be, I can see something under there. I don't know if this is glued on or not. Okay, looks like I found the mechanism to keep the screen in. It's got little clips on the side of this, so when all you had to do is just push this little plastic to the side, and it just pops off. So I'm gonna try this other side on camera. Oh, it's tough. Well, that's the way to do it. Looks like it came off finally. And let's see what's underneath. Okay, we just got like a hot bar. LCD screen's been just hot bar soldered down, and a flat flex chip display controller. That must have been pretty advanced back then. And okay, just a whole bunch of passive components and a little transistor right there. And this interesting chip that looks like it's pretty big, pretty tall. And R4553. No idea. But you can check what's underneath this flat flex cable. I don't want to rip it off the board, but it looks like there's some sort of like a flash type package right there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to rip off this hot bar solder because I won't ever get it back soldered on again. So that'll have to be all for this. This thing. And okay, last off, looks like there's interesting LED packages. It's four on each side, and then they're using this clear plastic case as like a heat pipe, a light pipe, so the LCD screen lights up at night. And those are, I haven't seen those this LED packages before. Okay, so it looks like we need to drill out those little holes. I wonder if we can just take a pliers. Oh yeah, it'd break right off. It's pretty fragile plastic. I guess being this old, the plastic degraded a little bit, and all these things just shattered. And looks like we got a ceramic substrate with a hand numbered. That's nice. And just looks like we can get a little further in to some maybe RF magic. Looks like just a single plate on top, a single surface of metal. Looks like they just soldered the center of the coax on that piece of metal. So let's see if we can just pry it open just a little more. Take off these little clips and see what's on the other side of the RF or on the ceramic package. Yes. Okay, well, under the can, or under the ceramic substrate, it's just another metal sheet similar to that. So, yep, that's all it's on the other side. see if I can get this thing back together now. Yeah, I'll probably get that back together. That's all that's in a 90s era GPS receiver. A lot of circuit integration, not a lot of discrete components on this device, other than like these RF filters and the switch mode power supply. There's lots of integrated circuits on here. This GPS receiver retailed for $200 to $300 apparently back in the 90s. So it was pretty high end, but still accessible to consumers in the price range. Hey, there you go. You got something. Looks like it's working. How do we... Oh no! We lost all our waypoints on there. Because we took all that backup battery, so all the waypoints are lost on it apparently. So that's kind of funny. So I hope you like this teardown of the Eagle Explorer GPS receiver from the late 90s.